It's been a while, but I am glad to be back. I want to thank every one of you, the Silver Screen dudes, who have reached out to me on social media and said, we like the podcasting, but please come back. We want to see more of you on YouTube. So here I am. I'm back in 2019. Let's review our first movie. So for my first review of 2019, and my first review for a very long time, I'm going to be covering Glass. Now, I feel like some context is required for this one. I loved Unbreakable. I thought it was a really interesting, grounded, postmodern view and take on superhero movies, and asked the question, in a real world, how would superheroes behave if they were self-aware? Additionally, I really came out of Split a few years ago quite satisfied, actually. Didn't like it as much as Unbreakable, but I thought it explored DID. For those of you that don't know, that's dissociative identity disorder, and explored mental disorder in a really interesting way. I thought it was, while very zany, notably from McAvoy's performance, it was a very, very good little film. I hate to use that word little, but little film. So as you can imagine, I was quite excited for this wrap-up, this third part in this Shyamalan trilogy of his take on superhero movies, Glass. Now we got a problem. Before I just go straight into the negatives, I want to start on the positives, because that's the way they say you should start a review. I think the acting in this film was quite superlative, most notably, as I've already mentioned, from Split, James McAvoy. He was quite sensational in this film. I also think that this movie delivered where Split, I feel, failed to deliver. You can check my review now to see what I thought of Split when it first came out. My big criticism back then was that it didn't fully explore all of the 20 promised personalities living inside Kevin Wendell Crumb. This movie gave us those 20 personalities, and it really pushed McAvoy as an actor to deliver on very 20 diverse personalities, and for that, the guy needs maximum credit. Also, take this with a pinch of salt, but I thought this is the best I've seen Bruce Willis for years. Now, granted, I know there's going to be some of you screaming now going, well, that's not saying much. Bruce Willis hasn't been good for years and has just been phoning it in to make that cheddar rain. Agreed. Leave that aside, Bruce Willis was actually very good in this. But unfortunately, that's really where the positives end. Now, the biggest gripe, the biggest negative I have with this film is that it takes so long trying to convince us that what the first two films set up is actually not true. In other words, that what we believe from the first two movies, that these metahumans, these superhumans exist, this movie spends 3/4 of the plot trying to tell us, no they don't. And I reiterate again, it is a personal pet peeve of mine. And this isn't just for Glass, this is any movie. It is a personal pet peeve when a film tries to convince the characters within said film that what they believe is wrong, while the audience watching this film knows it to be true. It just feels like time wasted. If you do this for a few minutes to kind of throw the audience and put a question mark above our heads, fine. If you're taking up 3/4 of your movie doing this, it becomes quite laborious. Now, this is a trilogy. In trilogies, you're meant to wrap things up with a huge culmination. Now, what the trailers promised us was the confrontation, the epic confrontation between the last personality from Kevin Wendell Crumb, the Beast, and Bruce Willis's Overseer character. Yes, he has a name now if you haven't seen the movie yet. The Overseer. It was their big confrontation coming to a head. Now, this happens, but it feels so bland and so uneventful, thanks to the fact that the movie has dawdled on for so long, that you're just kind of left removed from the movie. You're left feeling whatever about the whole big climax. Now, you mix that in with terrible pacing, because as I've already mentioned, the movie takes its time telling us that superheroes don't exist, when in the last two movies we were told actually they do, and we're now on board with that. Add that into the lack of payoff, very poor pacing, and you're kind of left wondering, what's the point of this film? I'm gonna this next point I'm gonna try to deliver without giving away, spoilers, but the big plot twist at the end, how to phrase this? Let's just say, something happens that makes a video go viral and the identity is revealed to the world of these so-called superhumans, right? Now, that's revealed in the first 5 minutes of the film. There are literally web forums and corners of the internet which are following the Overseer, which are looking for these superheroes. So the big plot twist at the end, which is meant to be one of Shyamalan's trademarks, isn't actually a big plot twist. It's just a kind of, oh yeah, that thing we threw in at the beginning, yeah, the whole world knows about it now, it's true. And basically, as a result, it feels completely irrelevant. And I'd actually go one step further to say that the movie actually betrays the first 2 movies. Because as I started this review, I said what I liked about Unbreakable, postmodern view of superheroes grounded in reality. These last 2 films always felt like, if you suspend disbelief only so slightly, this could very much exist in our world. These superhumans could be walking among us, and that's what made them so engaging. This movie completely betrays that. Secret organizations, overpowered superheroes. We are one step away from Hail Hydra at some point of this. And again, personally, I thought that was a complete betrayal. This movie doesn't just stay grounded. This movie goes full superhero movie. And Act 1, M. Night Shyamalan, Act 1 is not supposed to last 3/4 of your goddamn movie. As a result, this movie, against all odds, boring. In conclusion, guys, I hate to start my reviews off on a negative again, but I can only score Glass 3 out of 10. There are great performances to be had here, most notably from McAvoy, but sadly the plot unravels into what can only be described as nothingness and literally shatters like glass. Maybe Shyamalan's a secret genius and that's the whole point of the movie. No. Shyamalan's films have always treaded that knife-edge thin line of either being quite clever or, in the worst cases, being just beyond stupid. And sadly for Glass, and especially sadly considering Unbreakable and Split's existence, which are quite solid, this movie falls into the latter. It's boring, it's stupid. I just couldn't be on board with it, guys. So over to you guys. I want to hear what you have to. Have you seen Glass? What did you think about it? And what would you score it? Please leave your thoughts in your comments down below in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think may be interested in this video. And please be sure to check out the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast, which is what the Silver Screen Dudes are doing most of the time now. Link for that also in the description below. And check out our competitions on Instagram, where all of you, our Silver Screen Dudes, could win a fantastic prize from our sponsors over at Loot Crate. Additionally, what I'd like to add to this is for our reviews coming in 2019, we're not going to be churning them out like we were in 2018 and 2017. We're going to focus on the big blockbusters, because that seems to be not only what gets the views. Yes, I'm a view whore, sue me, I have to take time doing this, but it also seems to be what you guys give me the most feedback on. So I'm going to stick to the big blockbusters. If there are films that you guys would like me to review, again, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, guys. But until the next time, I am Nico Lero from the Silver Screen Dudes. See ya!